Look who it is! A wild Vargas. He's back! Vargas is here and we're going to be fully sorting out the tune for the 3-rotor car. It's something that we wanted to do for a long time. We've just never had time. We've done one test day with this car and some other issues kind of made us want to do some other changes before really dialing the car in. The biggest one being switching to a Haltech Elite 2500, which the guys have been working on for the past couple days and everything's sorted and switched over. And now going into clutch tickers, we wanted to make sure the tune and car was completely dialed. And of course, because we're going into clutch tickers, you know Team Nick Squared is in the building.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have Team Nick Squared for clutch tickers prep. The car is finally getting all the attention that it's wanted. Even though I'm very nervous about driving this car for clutch tickers, it's mostly because I'm not familiar with it. I'm stoked that the car is getting attention and we're able to fully go through it, and I'm excited to drive it. I just, of course, would prefer to do that, like not in competition, but that's just how life works out. We got the A-team here getting it sorted, and today hopefully we'll be on the dyno soon with our new Haltech ECU, and we're gonna be switching fuel.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna be switching to Ignite finally.
We got permission from Vargas. He's like, it is time. It's broken enough that we can run Ignite in it. So we're gonna be tuning it with Ignite, which I'm stoked about. How much more horsepower we might get from
I've
it?
seen 100 on my cars just from switching.
That's crazy.
Same boost, same timing. So it's just way better fuel.
ECU, fuel, and a full tune.
Yeah.
And an exhaust.
And exhaust.
And exhaust. Other main thing we're going to be doing today is very important. Very, very important. A lot of packages just showed up today.
What a buzz count.
In addition to dyno today, which I'm stoked about with the new Haltech ECU, we also got some very important packages from Lifeline that just showed up. All of these packages are our fire suppression for not just the 3-rotor car, but also the C6 Corvette. We're gonna be working with Lifeline to get my cars outfitted, as well as the Drift HQ fleet, and work with Drift HQ to have this stuff available for you guys to access through them. So I'm really stoked to be working with Lifeline and getting a great system in this car. Obviously, with the Corvette incident, I've done a lot of educating to myself, and I've been doing a lot of research, talking with a bunch of different fire suppression companies over the past month. I've learned a ton, and I'm just hoping I can sort of pass that knowledge on to you guys. Even in the past week, I personally know of 3 other cars that have burned down in the drifting scene. One of them completely, Aaron, his C6, about a week ago, burned completely to the ground, and it really just reminded me like how lucky I am, because I was so close to being in that exact same scenario that he was in, with nothing to even rebuild. So fire safety is definitely something we're going to be focusing on, and we're working with Lifeline to put a full system in the 3-rotor car and the Corvette, in addition to a handheld as well. So we're going to open these up, see what we got, and work on installing it. On the table, we have 3 different systems. First one is going to be our handheld that will now be in the car, and they make this really awesome billet bracket that not only looks cool, but it's just super convenient. You just pull right here, and the entire bottle comes out with this part of the bracket. You just go like, boom, and then your bottle is officially set up for a quick release, so it looks nice and it's just really convenient to have in the car. And this mounts directly onto the roll cage. This one is just going to be an extra bottle that we have in the trailer in case you just need some more firefighting power. This one connects directly to this bigger nozzle here, so you can help like put out fires without being directly in it. And this just attaches right to that bottle. So that's just gonna be extra safety that we keep in the trailer. And then this is part of the full system that we're going to be putting in the car. So all three of these systems have what's called Novec 1230 as the actual fire suppression agent in it. It's a lot cleaner and it's not gonna mess up any electronics. The way that it actually puts out fire, it almost like chases the fire by sucking the oxygen out of the area that the nozzles are installed, versus a lot of like the foam agents have to be exactly or very close to spot on where they're positioned to really attack that fire. So there's many reasons why I'm glad to be running a system that has a Novec 1230 in it. I've just been trying to educate myself on the different types of agents that are out there. Now this is a system that's going to be installed into the car, and this is going to be a mix of mechanical and automatic deployment of the agent in case of a fire. So for the auto side of it, it's not electric, so you don't have to have a battery constantly charged and hooked up to it. The automatic part is going to be controlled by these ends with a bulb in there. You can see that red piece there, and at a specific temperature that bulb cracks and deploys the agent. This is going to be routed to 3 different parts of the car. 2 are going to be automatic with this bulb system, and then 1 route is going to be a mechanical pull. So the 2 routes that are going to have the automatic bulb in them is going to be the driver cockpit area and the fuel cell fuel area with this rear one. The top one we're going to hardline and route into the actual engine bay, and that is the one that's going to be controlled mechanically by this lever. So this exact setup we're going to be mimicking and putting in the Corvette as well. So the first thing we gotta figure out is where we're going to be mounting our bottle so that all of the lines go where they need to. I actually misunderstood the mechanical pull part of it. I thought it was only for the engine bay, and they're actually suggesting that we have 2 nozzles for the engine bay and then 2 for the cockpit area as well. I'll still have that option mechanically to give me more time to get out of the car safely. So the kit comes with everything that you need, and now knowing that, this makes a lot more sense. So from the hard line, we'll have 1 tee off, and then we'll have this tee off for the 2 for the cockpit, and then we'll have this tee off for the 2 hard lines for the engine bay.
So rotaries have the intake and exhaust on the same side versus other engines like a V8 will have intake and exhaust on both sides. So prioritizing, we have to prioritize this side. So I think we were gonna put a connector, where was it? Over here?
Right there.
We're gonna put one here,
Facing towards the engine.
and then we're gonna put another one right here.
Right above the engine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because nothing's happening on this side. All the heat's over here, so we're just gonna put one on top of the engine and one on the right side of the engine.
Taking a peek at Adam's former FD car to see where their stuff is routed.
Literally only 1 in the engine bay, and it's on the intake side.
So there's really only 3 nozzles on the entire car. 1 here in the center of the bulkhead, 1 on the intake side of the engine bay, and then 1 right by the shifter in the center console.
Alright, that was just helpful to see how another system was routed. This bottle comes with those 2 brackets on it, so we're just going to put nut certs in our gussets here and have this mounted there. The dyno has opened up, so we're taking a break from fire suppression and we're putting the car on the dyno and let Vargas work his magic. Hopefully the tune sorted. Oh boy, we had a little bit of a rough night. We ended up having to get off the dyno because the sun set and we don't want to piss off the neighbors being super loud. So it's next day, it's in the morning. We have the 3-rotor back on the dyno and we're gonna try and sort out the tune and head straight to clutch kickers. So yesterday we were having some boost control issues. Started checking and going through everything and it ended up at the very end of the night, we found out that it was just a setting on the ECU that never transferred over from the map that we had on. So we ended up figuring it out. We reset for today. Back on the dyno, and I'm excited to see what the car makes now that it's on a new ECU and Ignite Red.
We uploaded a map yesterday to get it running, and then we updated to NSP, which is the new software. When we designated the inputs and outputs, it automatically put it on closed loop. So what it was doing is it was trying to like run 10 pounds, but the spring is 4, but the duty was at 0, so it was just doing corrections.
And we were thinking last night that it was something mechanical,
Yeah.
like on the car. And
we checked everything, but it wasn't.
That's 10 pounds?
Yeah, that's
10 pounds.
This is what we want. Yeah!
Yeah.
And the torque stayed pretty flat too.
It does. It's pretty flat. You're gonna have to drive past 5,000 RPM.
Yeah, that's the
At all times.
All times.
Yeah! Right there.
But you have till 9,000 though.
Yeah, so you have quite a window still. You have 4,000.
Oh, we were
RPM.
raising it to 9,000 now?
Right
Yeah,
now.
that's
9,000
Yeah.
game?
It's not breaking
Damn.
anymore, so now we can turn it up a little bit. It's only 10 pounds, so it's doing pretty good. I think we were running like around 13, 14 to make 620 last time. Right now at like 10 pounds versus the 16 that it used to be. So right now it's like, I think it was like 560 at 10 pounds, which is not bad. But the issue is that the low end from like 2,500 to like 4,500, we have no power. We're demanding a lot of duty on the boost controller, but it's actually staying the same. You know, it's not, the turbo's not spooling fast enough. So since you have such a low power band here, and then out of nowhere you have like, boom, like all this power, that makes the car more challenging to drive because it's unexpected when the power is gonna hit. You're like having a big difference of like, you know, 200 torque to like 450 torque.
Yeah, so
Like-
having the less boost will
Yeah.
kind of even that out, hopefully, which
So-
will be better for drifting.
So we're making the whole power band like smoother. That way you can actually drive the car and not have the motor drive you.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just like, you know, it's just too big of a gap. You know, you have a power band that's like straight up like this, and you know now we have one that's like more linear.
And the partial is a lot better than before. Almost immediately, when you put it on the Haltech and started messing with it, the partial throttle got better. We did find out that the TPS is bad.
We turned off the transition throttles from the TPS reading. We turned it to the map sensor.
And I got upgraded to 9,000 RPMs versus the 7, which is sick.
I think 16 we're doing 620. Now we're doing like 560 at 10. So we are making more power, less boost.
Yeah.
And we're revving the 9K, so
Hey.
and it's loving it.
And today is practice day, so we're just ironing up stuff and then going to be headed straight to the track. And we do have a fire suppression system update for you guys. All right, we're rushing here and it just started downpouring, so I'm gonna try and give you an update for the fire suppression system install with the car in the trailer. I realized that since this is rear mount, we probably shouldn't have this auto one in the back of the car, just because this is going to be pushing through extremely hot air and it just could be a risk with setting it off or triggering it. So we ended up changing that, and right now that's what the system is built for. It's built to have 2 autos and 1 hardline for the cockpit and the engine bay. Originally, we were setting everything up for the Corvette. The Corvette, the rear self-activating one should work because we don't have a crazy rear mount setup. But for this car, we ended up putting both of the auto activation ones in the driver area, so it's kind of just like extra safety. And we split a hard line, one to the front. We ended up just putting one in the engine bay right over here in our most crucial area. We ended up routing one for the hard lines in here for the driver, and then for the back, since we're not going to have the self-activating one, the hard line goes all the way to the rear and is mounted right there. The 2 auto ones right now, we're just putting them right here. That has the bulb in it that will self go off. And then there's also another one right here. Really, that's just gonna give you more time should anything bad happen. Gives you more time to get out of the car, which is super important, and we still have our other areas covered. They got the tank secured right there in the back. It's just nut inserted on the gusset there. I'm really stoked to actually have a proper like cooling system this weekend as well. Already, just like look at me in this trailer. It is so hot. It is so humid right now. It's insane. Even though it's like pouring rain out, it's really, really bad. Going forward, I'm really trying to make fire safety #1. It should be for everyone, especially in drifting. And now we got the 3-rotor protected, and we'll do another video when we put the system into the Corvette that shows you the full install. This was just a crazy 24 hours trying to deal with sorting this car out, new ECU, getting it on the dyno, doing some testing around the compound in it, and getting on the road for clutch titters. So, and this will be the first time that the car is actually going to be ran with the full rear mount radiator ducting done. So that should hopefully keep the car even cooler. And I think that's it. I don't know, I'm brain dead. We're rushing to head on to clutch titters. Right now is actually clutch titters practice, so we need to get over there. It's about a 2-hour drive, and just wish me luck. You'll see how it goes in the next video.